Right then, this is a walk around video for a really handsome looking Honda CR-V. This is a 2014 car. The private plate comes with the sale of the vehicle, it's included in the sale. It's a really lovely private plate there. This car's covered 74,000 miles and is in absolutely beautiful condition. Lights and lenses, you can see there, completely clear and intact. Bumper really clean, likewise the bonnet, which hardly exhibits a stone chip of any note. And there will be one, I'm sure, but they're very few and far between. Near side panels on the passenger side, absolutely mirror smooth, wonderfully clean. Inside front alloy, very good. Very recent front brake pads and discs fitted to this car, which were the advisory along with the rear tyres, which, as you can see here, have been changed as well with Bridgestones on each side, so they clearly haven't skimped. Coming around the back, wonderfully clean and tidy. And around to the offside of the car, driver's side, again just wonderfully smooth and clean in the panels, no indentations at all there. And again, alloys on the side, really good condition as well. And it is one of the nicest you're going to see. It's just been kept so well. Obviously, you know, whoever's had it knows how to look after cars quite clearly. Coming to the back of the car now, huge boots, and unlike so many CR-Vs, it's just been kept absolutely beautifully back here with hardly a mark anywhere in there at all. And given they are estate cars, they are normally very heavily used. It is electric tailgate, obviously up and down. I'll just show it going down, but all works exactly as it should. It's coming to the back of the car now. Huge wide opening rear doors, makes for entry and exit really easy. Masses of legroom as well in the car, by the way, and those front seats are set for me, and I'm 6 foot tall. As you can see there, there's a full set of mats in the car as well. It's been kept very well indeed. It's coming to the front now. Again, all very clean and tidy. Leatherwork, all very good indeed. Coming to the front, driver's door card, again all in beautiful condition. Likewise, footwell areas, all really nice. And the driver's seat, the one that takes all of the wear, and there's hardly anything on there at all. Inside the car now, with the engine running, as I tend to do, so the dashboard can be illuminated. Dashboard looks absolutely as new. It's in wonderful condition. Sat nav, you can see they're working exactly as it should. When you're stationary with the handbrake on, you can actually put films in there as well to watch films out of it, so quite a nice feature. Pop it into reverse, you've got rear parking camera, and obviously that supplements the front and rear parking sensors. Dual zone climate control system. You've got the push button start there as well, but it's just been kept absolutely beautifully. And up to the dashboard, and pan in there for you, we've got 74,186 miles. No warning lights on the dashboard at all. Steering wheel in beautiful condition as well. I mean, it really is kept absolutely fabulously, this car. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V. It's a 2.2 EX diesel manual car, as you can see. This particular car is registered R88WDL, and mileage at the start of this road test is 74,180 miles. The reason we do these videos is essentially to give people an opportunity to see the car we're actually advertising in operation. We know, unfortunately, to our cost, how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look perfectly good in the adverts, only to get there and drive it and find it's got a fundamental issue that shows up whilst driving the car. So that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads very close to our premises, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take prospective buyers on. And the reason we choose this route is so hopefully then it'll be representative of what you feel yourselves should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, engine starts absolutely instantly, of course. Press of a button in these top of the range EX models and settles to completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge I'll do later in the video, because I like, if possible, to do these videos from cold, and this one has been started from cold, because obviously then that can show up issues whether it be hot or cold basically. The engines are absolutely brilliant. It's almost taken for granted that Honda provide you with a very reliable and long-lasting engine, probably the most reliable diesel engine in its class by quite a long way in the real world of ownership. And obviously, it's cam and chain driven. There's no cam belts on these, so no big service kind of looming on them. But that's only half the story, because that would be all well and good, but if the engine was gruff and horrible and unpleasant to use, it wouldn't make a jot of difference. But the engine is just a lovely diesel engine. It's so smooth and quiet in operation, only really showing itself as a diesel in the lower gears, sort of first and second gear. On the move, it's so civilized, very sweet revving for a diesel, it has to be said. Honda put a lot of effort into making sure it didn't sound diesely, and it doesn't. But what it also does is it has a lovely power delivery. It pulls through the entirety of the rev range, rather than sort of short bursts that you get in some of its competitors' cars. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car, absolutely perfect. Bite point's exactly where it's meant to be, and it's lovely and smooth in operation. Gearbox, brilliantly positioned there, elbow on the armrest, hand falls naturally to the gear lever. You've got a gear lever or gear shift that's short in throw, especially compared to some of its competitors. Really precise in actuation. I'm just doing it for fun, but it's got a wonderful quality of engagement, which should happily go into one of Honda's more sporty versions, as I always say in these videos, because it's absolutely true. I think it's a wonderful piece of engineering. Again, incredibly long lasting. I can feel no wear in it at all in terms of the linkage or actuation of it, but we just don't touch those, which is tempting fate to realise that, but we generally don't. Steering of the vehicle, really nicely weighted. It tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed, or any speed up to the legal limit actually. But it's just really nice because it's very precise. It's really accurate for this type of car. It flows and is beautifully matched to the chassis of the vehicle. Because that's not always the case. Sometimes you get steering which is too sharp and it makes the car sort of wallow about, or too slow, which is even worse, which is just sort of winding the lock on, and it just seemed to be have no contact with the road. But this is really very well done. The chassis again it's so good, and disregard the idiots in the motoring press that refer to sort of dull chassis that are not rewarding. Well, with greatest respect, it's not a sports car, far from it. It's a really accomplished family SUV, because what Honda have designed it for, which is for their customers, for it to be very comfortable indeed, but also to exhibit very good body control through the corners, which it does. It's far less pitching and wallowing than you get in, again, a lot of its competitors' vehicles. They've done a lovely job in striking a lovely balance with it. What I'm also looking for on the road test, by the way, is any kind of noises that come from underneath the vehicle. It shouldn't be any sort of chatterings or knocking noises, and there are none at all. Absolutely nothing at all. Brakes on the car. I'm just going to get around the corner because I want to do it. Crikey, it's 3 degrees outside. It's a chilly day today. So we give them a thump, but they're really good, because I don't want to go mad on them, because basically it's had very recently, because I think on the last MOT it was advised for discs and pads on the front. They were fine, but they have been changed. They're brand new virtually, and likewise the rear tyres. A couple of Bridgestones have been chucked on the back of the car, which is a lovely sign of ownership, good quality ones as well. But the brakes are perfect, no pulsing, no vibrations, nothing at all. So coming inside, first things first, they are brilliantly put together cars, absolutely brilliantly put together. There's no squeaks, no rattles. It's a very well engineered vehicle. Again, coming back to my pet hate of the motoring press, and it's, that's not entirely true, obviously. basically, when they assess build quality, they're handed brand new cars by the manufacturers. Well, that doesn't tell you diddly squat. Most cars come off a production line actually reasonably well built these days. It's the durability of the build that's more important, and this is where the Hondas are far better than virtually anything else in its class. So many of the so-called premium manufacturers get in with 5 or 6 years down the line and tens of thousands of miles on the clock, and they creak and groan and buzz, but you just don't get it in the CR-Vs. They are beautifully made. So the dashboard, by the way, is simplicity itself to use. It's a very highly equipped car, the EX, but it's not one of those cars where you get in and you're phased by, oh goodness me, how do you do this? A couple of days in the car and you've pretty much mastered it. It's very, very nicely done. Big screen sat nav working perfectly, as you can see. You've got a dual zone climate control system offering you the opportunity to have different temperatures side to side on the car as well. Pumps out lovely cold air. We checked it in a warm workshop earlier on, so all working fine there. Pressing buttons, I don't know, I'm slightly obsessive with these things, but I just love the quality that they use. It's got a lovely kind of rubbery click action, very, very high quality stuff. Again, Honda want the buttons you press and touch to feel good to hand, and they do a really lovely job of it. Dash in front is lovely and simple and easy to take the information from. It's not overly complicated and very nicely laid out. Temperature gauge now running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda car, by the way. Steering wheel, small in diameter, feels great in hand. Feels like new to hold as well, in all honesty. This is a four-wheel drive version of the CR-V, albeit there are no buttons to press, because basically it runs in front-wheel drive pretty much the whole time, two-wheel drive. Only as and when it needs to go into four-wheel drive will it do so by itself, and it's brilliant in the way it operates. The disadvantage of four-wheel drive that's running permanently is fairly obvious. It's going to use more fuel, certainly going to get through your tyres more quickly, and it puts a lot more mechanical stress to the vehicle, so that puts more wear on the components. We have never touched a four-wheel drive system that Honda uses, or this system, in nearly 3 decades of selling them. So, as I said at the start of the video, the point of it, brief as it might be, is it literally showed the car in operation, but to feedback on any issues, of which there's literally nothing at all. It drives absolutely as new to drive. It's wonderfully tight and taut. We have one, so we know them well, and I used to work for Honda, so we know if one's not quite right or it feels a bit sort of slack on the road, which is rare indeed. But this is very, very nice.